And we're here. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Niners Coast to Coast. We got Aaron, David, Bryant, and I'm Ty in the house. How you doing, guys?
Doing
Great.
good.
Labor Day Monday, didn't have to go to work. I'm doing really good.
I
Yep.
know today was a good day, to say the least. To say the least. All right, let's get right to it. We all know we're trying to extend Nick Bosa, but he's in questionable for week 1, as it turns out. So if he misses week 1, he will be fined a grand total of about $966,000. So the question is, will Nick Bosa play or will he pay? Bryant, what do you think?
I don't think he cares about the fine if he doesn't get his contract. If he doesn't agree to his contract, he does not care to sit out. What's $20 million when you can get, he's going to get $17 million for the season, and he's looking at trying to get, 35 or, somewhere between 30 to 40 million. That's just wait another game, make the pressure, build and put it on them. You want me on the field? Pay me.
I'm with you on that one. David, what do you think?
I think there's a little too much silence going on here because all we hear are reports, and we don't know how valid the sources in these reports is saying that he's $4 million apart from the Niners. And I think I heard someone make a valid point. We don't know if that's $4 million per season, $4 million in guaranteed money, $4 million. We don't know. I honestly think he'll pay because he's looking at the long term, repercussions of not of playing without a contract and the risks.
Playing the long game. Yeah.
Yep.
I see that too. Aaron, what do you think, buddy?
I think that it's a sad and it's not a good sign that he's not signed yet, but they call them negotiations for a reason. And that's exactly what they're doing. His agent and the 49ers, they're eventually going to come to some financial agreement. It's just a matter of who's going to blink first, the old game of chicken. I think the Niners in some aspects need to kind of, a lot of people are saying they're being cheap, but you got to remember, like I said, again, it's contract negotiations. So it's nut cutting time. Seriously, like it's really getting close. I hate to use that word, but it's the only word I can think of that actually makes sense. In 2 more days, because I just saw a report, and I forget if it was from NFL Network or something. If he doesn't report by, say, like Wednesday, that's when I'm going to start to worry. Because then it's just a matter of, like, is he even going to be ready to play the season? He hasn't gotten any reps, any practice, anything. So hit me back Wednesday evening, and I'm either going to be panicking and melting down, or be jubilation. Everybody's going to be peeing in their pajamas on Wednesday. So hopefully we're all peeing in our pajamas come Wednesday.
Right. Well, right now we are in pure football season, right?
Yep.
So to think about a typical football week, on Monday you have a practice or some meetings that they go through. Tuesday is your typical off day. And then, Aaron, like you said, Wednesday is when game install happens, even though week 1, we know it starts earlier. But Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is that game practice where they prepare for the next team. So that's the mode they're in right now. So we know on Wednesday, they want him to be in there to go over the game plan for the week. So being that today's a holiday, we understand there's no news, but tomorrow is when business normally kicks off.
Yep.
Could we see something tomorrow? Could the Niners cave to get him in on Wednesday?
I hope
I called
so.
Tuesday. I called this Tuesday all along. I said he'll be there on Tuesday, practice, play on Monday. But could that happen?
The old $64,000 question. It's just a matter of who's blinking first. Is it going to be the Niners, or is it going to be Bosa's side? And I don't think it's going to be Bosa's side. I think they're standing pat on their number, and the Niners
yeah.
got to find a way to get close to it. This
And
is
it's weird.
Go ahead. It's
No,
your
I was
show.
going to say, isn't it weird because John Lynch is saying we budgeted for this for 2 years now.
Did ya?
Exactly. Did you really budget for it?
Yeah.
Because you knew this number was going to be large. So did you kind of undercut yourself?
Yeah. He budgeted it the old cheap Niner way, where we try to use bonuses and escalators and contracts and use somebody's injury history against them and all that other stuff. And his side's probably just like, no, I want the money.
Yeah.
You're not going to get away with these games that you play with every other player. This is Nick freaking Bosa. He's the best defensive player in the NFL. Yeah. Rookie of the year, defensive player of the year. Like, dude's legit. So he needs to get paid for the amount of money that he deserves. And I usually side with the organization in a lot of these things. But I side with Bosa's. I'm on Bosa's side 100%.
Yeah. Real quick, before we get really steamrolling into this, I got to give a shout out to the chat. We got Ryan in the house from No Border Sports. Jess from the East Coast Where to Go podcast. My teammate, my cohort, my leader. Good to see you. Twin Empires in the house.
Nice.
49ers Ultimate Reports in the house. Got Jason in the house. Of course, the lady of the empire, Miss Tony Cope. We bow down to you. Thank you for attending. Exactly. And of course, the GOAT, Mariah Lee, is in the house. Everybody you got to check out the 49 Faithful Lee podcast because she is awesome. And of course, Steve-O Supremo, always representing. Good to see you, Steve-O. So I got to ask you this. Everybody's talking about this $4 million year gap, $4 million gap, right? Well, is that just $4 million hard, like a grand total, or is it $4 million a year? Because it's just $4 million added to the total. You can break that up over certain seasons and get that in the budget. So I don't think that's it. There's got to be something more than that. What do you guys think about that? Is that true, or is that just speculation at this point? People making things up for clicks.
I think it could possibly be that it's $4 million, like the Niners starting point, and the starting point for Bosa's side was like literally $4 million apart. The Niners were coming in to pay him slightly more than I forget who the edge rusher is.
TJ Watt.
It's TJ Watt.
And it's what, like 27 million, right?
Mm-hmm.
28. Yep.
Okay, and the Niners probably came in with that number, and I'm thinking his side came in with no. We want to be the highest paid defensive player in the league, so we're looking at like 32 million. We want to be more. So I think it's literally the Niners came in and lowballed them like they usually do because that's their MO, and for the most part it's worked. And Bosa's side's like, no, no, that you kidding me? Like, really? You're going to only pay him slightly more than TJ Watt. So I think I think the report is 100% legit. Now they're saying it's $2 million. That was the latest thing. Now it's a $2 million. Like, really? Like, come on, guys, just pay.
Yeah. Brian, what do you think of that? Does that sound ridiculous, or do you think that's legit?
I think there's something legit to it, but it doesn't really make any sense for the Niners to come out and say, well, we're this far apart, or another, person from Bosa's contract, his side to come out and say that, because then another team is just going to start trying to think, well, now do we have an opportunity? So as much right now as we want to hear something from these talks, we're not hearing much at all. And I think that's a good thing, because maybe they already have a deal done and they're just waiting for a day to be signed. But I'm staying pretty firm on it. I think he's going to get 35 or more. And I think that's what his points.
Hefty. David, what do you think about that?
I think it's clicks, speculation. Who actually knows what's going on between, Nick Bosa's side and us? It's been a pretty tight ship. It hasn't been leaky. Debo was screaming at the moon last year, and that garnered a lot of attention. Nick Bosa is just not the type to do that.
Right.
And $4 million. I honestly think Aaron could be right. It couldn't be like I saw a report where it said we're offering 31. He wants 35, and it could be we offered 28 and he wants 32.
Right.
That's all stuff we don't know, and we don't know how accurate the 4 million is even because no one ever names a source.
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of math. I think Aaron hit the nail on the head, and I agree with him there. And Steve-O put this up, took my thought, but credit to you, Steve-O. Yeah, I think they came in at edge rusher salary and said, hey, this is the top edge rusher in the league. We're going to give you this amount, maybe a little bit more, so you'll be, the top guy in the league. It could be the same amount of $28 million a year, but they could have made the guarantee he got higher than TJ's, right? So it'd be like, hey, you got more guaranteed money than TJ. That really makes you the highest paid edge rusher in the league. But the Bosa camp could have bounced back and said, no. We want to be the highest paid defensive player in the league. We just came off defensive player of the year.
Yep.
So we're worth that. And I think that's where that gap comes in. Where Aaron Donald's 31, and it's like, okay, we'll add on $1 million, and now you're at 32. Does that make you happy? Who knows?
To me, it's like the Niners, are they operating in good faith? Like, are you coming in to this saying like we're gonna treat him like the defensive player of the year he was last year? Because I know Bosa's side's coming to the table with that. Like that's their selling point. Like 18.5 sacks.
Yep.
Defensive player of the year. Your defense isn't half as good without him. I don't understand. Like, I know the Niners have a way of doing contracts, right? They try to do stuff that's good for the organization. But I mean, there comes a point in time where you got to put that aside for certain players and give them what they are actually worth. Yeah. You can't just say, well, here in this piece of paper, it says that we can't go any higher than this. You kind of could. I mean, if you would have not given up 2 draft picks over the last 3 drafts with Trey Lance, and you would have actually drafted some players who eventually could step in if, say, other players have to go because of Bosa's deal down the road. Like, I was on with Wayne today, and like that's the repercussions when you miss on some picks, especially early picks. When you get to a deal like this with Bosa, and you essentially like, okay, if we're going to pay Bosa all this money, some people eventually have to go. Like, you have to move on. And when you miss on picks and you don't have those cheaper players to plug in and replace, that's why the Niners are kind of at a spot right now where they're like, they're standing pat on their number because they want to keep their books right. They're the master bookkeepers, but like not his side's like, no, you're going to pay him what he's worth. He's the best player in the NFL, hands down. So I guess it's just a matter of whose side's going to blink first. Is it going to be the 49ers or is Bosa's side going to cave? Because if Bosa's side's caves, and then there's going to be a disgruntled player, and I don't want that. So
yeah, but he's the one doing the caving. I mean, he's got nothing to be mad about but himself at that point. And really, can you really be mad at $30 million a year? Like, are you really mad?
I wouldn't be
that?
Personally, but if I was Bosa, I want my $32 million. I want it. Give me my $32 million.
$32 million. Like, I'd be pretty happy with that.
Mm-hmm.
That's just me.
Just 1 year. I don't need 5 years of $32 million. I just want 1 year of $32 million.
Exactly.
Hey, maybe he's not looking for a 5-year. Maybe he's thinking 3 or 4 so he can get a second payday.
A quick, immediate turnaround. That seems to be the new structure that these guys are going for. They don't want the long 4 and 5 year deals that they used to hand out for those second contracts. Now it's like they want them short so they can renegotiate all over again. And if you think about a Nick Bosa, he's not even in his prime yet. He'll be in his prime in another 3-4 years. So he's probably thinking along those lines, David. You're absolutely right. Let me get a short contract now with a bunch of money, and I can re-up in the next few years for even more money.
I just can't believe that it's taken this long. It's freaking pissing
I know,
me off.
no contract. Yeah, none of our. Say what you want about all the other contracts, they've never gone this long.
Bring up Rob D's comment. Almost $4 million over 5 years equals $20 million.
Yeah.
It's, if you go with a smaller contract, a shorter time frame, and you ask for more money, more guaranteed money, ideally, if you put that towards a couple of years, you are making more money. Then I don't blame them, and I don't think the Niners really have an opportunity to back out on this. You kind of just have to take it, and you can ask him every day, will you take this, will you take this, but every day that number needs to be higher and higher until he says yeah, because if we don't have Bosa, we basically essentially I don't really like our chances, guys.
Yep, he's that much of a difference. I 100% agree. Bosa's that. They say that he is him. Bosa's him. He's that guy. He makes our defense like we're like a middle of the pack defense. With Bosa, we're a top 5, top 3 defense. Like he's that much of a difference maker.
He makes the corners better. He makes the linebackers better. Everybody just feeds off his energy.
Yep. Hargrave, Armstead, whoever the other edge guy is going to be on the other side. He unlocks everything because you got to put all that information. You got to put all that attention on Bosa and a guy like Hargrave. Other guys are going to have one-on-one opportunities to essentially eat. It's just a matter of can they? You know what I mean? So yeah, this is ridiculous, man. This makes me nervous. Not only we got to go into Pittsburgh, not only are we divided as a fan base over the quarterback situation that everybody's losing the Joker's losing their minds. Everybody's losing their minds on Twitter. Talk about, this, that, and the other. And now we have this to top it all off. We need some good news. Like, come on now. Can we just go into week 1, have Bosa and go and mollywop the Pittsburgh Steelers in their home stadium. And then we'll be all happy next Monday. Come on now.
We'll see. It's going to be an interesting week. But that's for sure. Because, it's Bosa watch 24/7 right now.
I hate to say it, but there's a weekly pick'em show I'm on, and last season I won the whole season by 2 games, so it's like it gets to be pretty tight, right? I picked Pittsburgh to win because I didn't see a Bosa contract get done.
Hello, we got Brock Purdy, and they don't.
Damn right.
They have an unknown.
They have an unknown at QB.
Doesn't lose.
I'm sensing sensing some sarcasm from you, Ty.
That's the fact. Hey, we've done. Well, I say we. I mean Jess and I. East Coast Red and Gold. Check us out every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Countless shows when a number of people had all told me face to face, he is who he is. The Twitter told me he has a better stat than Patrick Mahomes, and he looks like Joe Montana.
Oh.
How can I argue with the masses? I'm just going with the flow. And there it is.
I love you being facetious and
I'm just going with the people. What the people say. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
Who am I to go against the people?
Pigs fly too, right? No, I feel you.
So the whole John Lynch's whole MO is we can have all these great players because we're not paying a quarterback that quarterback money. But if we give Nick Bosa quarterback money, that changes the structure of the team. Do you think we'll have some cap casualties next season because of his contract? And who do you think might go?
Okay, so I think it might not be just because of Bosa's contract, but this is what they're planning on doing. There's a reason they give Debo the money they give him, and maybe there's a reason they haven't done that with Ayuk. We did draft somebody. I don't know if you guys agree, but I think Ronnie Bell's Ayuk's replacement. I really think he's going to start doing stuff that Ayuk does normally, and Both of them can punt return and kick return. We know IU started doing that, to get on the field, and maybe to get out of the doghouse a little bit. And everybody was like, don't put him back there. But he liked doing it, and I think he did good. Ronnie Bell, same thing. I don't think you can replace a Debo. I don't think there's another Debo in college in the NFL currently. He might not be the best wide receiver we have, but we can get other people to catch the ball. We can't get other people to be Debo. And I think because of that, I think IU could be leaving. And I know Juice is getting a little bit older. I like Juice. I don't want to see him go. But, at a certain point, if it's your contract, if it's just the time for him to go and maybe get paid somewhere else and still be because the Niners don't want to do players dirty. They really don't. They want, if you got an opportunity to go somewhere else, they don't try to burn your bridge or your career. Right. So I would say Ayuk and Juice right off the bat, and then possibly, depends on what happens this season, Trent Williams might leave, at least retire. So I would think those three players, and then Juwan Jennings, I don't see him coming back. And I don't really see Ray McLeod coming back. And potentially I don't see Danny Gray coming back. So that would be just a couple right off the bat on the offensive side. And
none of those really affect our core, if you think about it, other than Ayuk. Jennings, Trent Williams. But I mean, they have to be thinking in this upcoming draft, having a first round pick. There's almost no doubt in my mind they go offensive tackle first round, unless they're able, and unless for some reason they're able to do something and they finagle their way into the top 10 and give away a bunch of picks and they're going for something else. And then if you think about it, man, like, lost my train of thought. I agree with Bryant, but I'm thinking it might be the other way. I feel like Debo might be the guy that's on the way out, just based on mileage and his body and the way he plays. Like, the Niners would essentially have the same thing, but in a guy who's way less expensive and has a little bit more mileage on the tires, so to speak. But I do agree with Bryant that it's someone in that receiver room isn't going to be here if Ronnie Bell balls out like we think he's going to. Someone's going. Someone's being jettisoned. You can't keep everybody. The fact that we kept Coletto on the practice squad, and I hope he stays there, I don't think people realize how much of a real possibility that Juszczyk eventually will go, and Coletto could be his replacement. Like, I'm not the biggest Kyle Juszczyk fan because, one, the Niners don't really use him all that much. He's a great blocker and all that stuff, but like, when you watch games, how often are you thinking about Kyle Juszczyk? Exactly. Not very much. So I think with Bryant, he's on it. I'm changing the receiver. I think that they might jettison from the team. I think it could be, and Bryant could be right.
Yeah,
I think like
likely. You could be too. It's just one of those things. Like, I kind of see Debo still being a Niner because he's kind of more locked in, just in a way. Where I think Ayuk's maybe his feelings is in the direction of the door. He's doing what he has to do right now to get to a point. I see Ayuk wanting to go to a team like the Chiefs or a team like the Bills. I don't see him wanting to go to a team that's not going to be a contender. So if we can't pay him, I definitely see his talent going elsewhere.
So real quick, point of note, if we release Juice next year, we'll save 6.2 on the cap, 6.2 million. Releasing Debo would actually save us $17.1 million on the cap.
Wow.
Who says we're releasing Debo? We could trade him.
Well, I'm just thinking, if no one wants to pick up his salary, right? Because everybody's money conscious, blah, 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 whatever. Unless the team with a ton of money is like, yeah, give him to me. If we trade him, that's another thing. But just thinking of, all right, if we release him, we save a minimum of that much money. So that's what I say. 17.6, that's $23 million saved right there. And with the cap going up, we can have a lot of coin to spend.
Yeah, you can get
truth
multiple
being
players.
Told, Juice, it's an opt-out year, so the Niners could actually opt out of his contract.
That's true.
And
yes,
and it's not necessarily cutting him.
I forgot about
But
that.
we still got to eat like I think it's 2.6 million dead money, but that's still, that's still a lot of savings there. And we replaced him with Coletto, who's making what, league minimum.
Yep.
So, and trading Debo, I honestly think there might be a couple teams interested. Like, maybe D'Amico Ryans on the Houston Texans wants to help out his young QB. Maybe there's definitely going to be takers for him.
There would be.
And
I 100% agree.
I would honestly hate to see Ayuk go, but even if we keep Debo, if somehow Prague can work a miracle and keep everyone under the cap, and we end up extending Ayuk, the thing about that is Ayuk's the first year of his contract is Debo's last year under contract. So if they structure it properly, we could literally fit them both.
So point of note, when you talk about teams who trade and have money, we know the Texans and the Titans both have 49ers ties. They're both projected right now to have over $80 million in cap space next season.
Oh, wow.
So we could just might as well call them the Tennessee Poachers and the Houston Poachers at this point. Because, if there's any players available on our side, they're coming.
Those as long as they don't go anywhere in the NFC.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm fine with that.
Yeah, as long as they're not going anywhere.
Far away. Don't be trading any more players to Dallas.
Could you check to see what Miami's cap would be or what the Jets cap would be?
Sure.
Man, I honestly don't want any first round or second round picks either. Give us a ton of fifth round picks.
Yeah, give us 4 through 7, because we screw the pooch every time we try to pat. But other than guys that are like no doubt selections like Bosa, we have missed so hard. Reuben Foster, Solomon Thomas, Mike McGlinchey, you name it, we've missed. Javon Kinlaw, miss. Yep. I mean, we're like 0 for life on these guys. As soon as we get to like the fourth, dude, think about this. 7th round, Ronnie Bell, he's a 7th rounder. Jalen Graham, 7th rounder.
Yep.
Like, are you kidding me? The Niners need to draft backwards, okay? They need to they need to draft backwards. They need to just oh my God, take the scouts that do the early draft stuff and switch them with the late round guys. I don't know if there's like different people, but geez, man, it's not even funny. It's actually kind of sad how bad we miss early on in the draft.
That's why when people freak out, like, oh, we could have had 2 extra draft picks if we didn't make the trade with Miami, 2 extra first round picks if we didn't make the trade with Miami. I'm like, who cares? We hit a home run later in those rounds. That's where the core of our team comes from. We'd have probably screwed up those 2 first round picks. So let them walk. And that's an extra $20 million worth of money we didn't have to pay to those first round picks. Because first rounders getting automatic like $10 million a season. So we're fine. I don't mind that. Bryant, to answer your question, the Jets will have $24 million in cap space. They're projected to have that amount starting next season. Miami is actually $22 million under the cap right now, projected for next season. So they have some cleaning up to do.
Debo in New York would be something on Robert Saleh's team with Aaron Rodgers. Oh my gosh, that would that'd be scary.
Yep.
I like what Randy says. Trade early picks for players. If we're not confident on using a first round or a second round pick, then let's use that for like a definitive, tackle out there. Let's go poach players from other teams. I don't think that's a bad idea at all.
He says, are any great linemen becoming free agents next season? Or is it just a draft we can get an old lineman?
You got to go draft. It's cheaper.
Exactly. They like to draft. They like to keep things cheap.
We can't afford a high-price free agent I mean, the Hargrave's like I was surprised to see us actually sign Hargrave. You know,
Well,
so
if you look at the way they operate, the way Lynch and Company operates, they normally go after like one high price guy a season, right? Just to plug in somewhere, right? We did Mooney Ward and we did Hargrave. Like that's kind of their MO. Just grab one guy, put him in. And like there are other free agents that they sign are guys like the Cleveland Farrells, right? The Austin Bryants, those guys who still are on rookie contracts who showed some flashes that maybe we can get something out of them for the year. That's what they do. But they don't normally go after like big
Right.
high price guys.
Javarius
seems
Ward the
especially-
previous year.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think they'll try to draft a tackle, and make that guy hopefully will be their left tackle for the future, right? Have him for 5 years in the system before they have to make a decision on him. Kind of the Mike McGlinchey thing, and hopefully he works out better than McGlinchey did.
Ugh. He was so good.
Yeah.
He's such hot garbage, McGlinchey.
Yeah, Hargrave's contract isn't that bad for us, really. So, all right, let's move on. Let's move on. What you going to say, Aaron? Jump in.
I don't want to get rid of Hargrave. We haven't even seen him yet. Let's not talk about that yet.
I know, exactly. Let's pump our brakes here. Let's keep him for at least a season.
Pump the brakes for at least a season or two, and no, stop that. That's
And he looked
silly
good
talk.
in the preseason. I like what he was
did.
doing out there. So that's that big penetrating guy in the middle that we've talked about, Aaron. That guy that can get low.
We need a big fat guy in the
Stop
middle.
the
Like
run.
it's all about the fat
his
guys.
penetration,
I could be a defensive
do.
tackle as much as I'm weighing right now.
If we have injuries this year, we might need you to suit up.
My knees are just as bad as Kinlaw's though, so no bueno probably.
We can work with that.
Shoot me up a Toradol for 2 hours. I should be good to go.
Exactly. All right. So we're moving on. Pittsburgh, people. Game 1. I need a prediction. How do you think we'll do? Give it to me. Bryant, you're chomping at the bit. Go for it.
I was gonna say, you want me to go first because I picked us to lose.
I know. That's what I'm saving you for last.
So this is one of those games all season. We've been talking about the record and talking about it, and I've been saying this could be one of those games that we're going to lose. 15-2. That's my season, record prediction. I think we're going to go all the way. I really do. Not just I really got a good feeling about it, but there's 1 or 2 games this season that we could really lose, and the Steelers are one, and the Ravens I think are another one. But I'm looking at this game, and it's week 1. Anything could happen week 1. They have the advantage being at home in front of their fans, but we travel very well, and for week 1, we're definitely going to be there, very noisy fans, 49er fans. So I'm thinking the stadium has a very good chance of being balanced, like where it's neutral. Not a overbearing Steeler crowd or overbearing Niner crowd. Now, as far as the game, if we can stop that run, if we can stop the Steelers run, yeah, we got this game. I think Jake Moody's playing. We're a little nervous about him because he's been injured, and we just, but he kicks really well in practice. But when he's in the game, we've seen him shank it a couple times. So I'm excited to see him. We got a good quarterback. He's going to be playing. It looks like he's healthy. Looks like he's really healthy. And everybody else seems to be healthy. I think we'll probably miss Kittle. I don't think Kittle will be out there but he might play. We'll, if he plays, then that's just another, aspect to the game where they're going to have to pay attention to him. So, yeah, I'm really, really excited. I think the Niners could start out really fast this time. But it is Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh it's a really, really hard place to win week 1. And that's kind of my thoughts. But I gotta say the Niners are gonna win this. I think it's gonna come down to maybe a field goal, be honest with you. I think it's gonna be a really tight-knit game. Or we could come in and maybe win by 10 points. There's something about that 10 when the Niners win the game. We like to win by 10. I don't know if they did that for reason, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Definitely going to tune in. And if we have Bosa there, then that just makes it even a little bit more, exciting. So,
Aaron, what do you think? What do you think about this Sunday?
Everybody's picking us to lose. Not saying you guys, but in general, everybody thinks the Niners are going to drop this game. So that's why I think they're going to win. But I think their defense is not going to play well. I think it's going to be an offensive game. I think the Steelers are going to be able to move the ball and do things, and we're just going to struggle a little bit because it's on the road. It's in their building.
yeah.
Niners are going to have some struggles. They're a really talented group offensively, right?
Yep.
But so are we. And when I was on with Wayne Breezy earlier, Breezy said, "Man, their linebackers on that Steelers team are not very good." Right? Where does the Niners offense live? In the middle of the field, correct?
Yep.
So if the Niners offense lives in the middle of the field and they struggle against stopping tight ends and the running game, I think the Niners could offensively have a really good game. It's all about protecting Purdy, though. Purdy must be protected. The way to protect Purdy, run the ball well. That's something the 49ers can do very well. They have a lot of good running backs. I think this game, personally, I picked earlier today with a 31-23 score. I'm thinking it's going to be closer now to about a 34-28 or a 34-27 type situation. I think the Niners defense struggles a little bit to start the season. I think they'll eventually, right the ship once Bosa's in there. Because I think even if Bosa plays, he's not going to play a full game. He's going to have limited snaps. You're not going to all of a sudden go from not practicing, no preseason, to 60 snaps. It's just not happening. 20 to 25 snaps is the most I think Bosa plays. With that being said, I think that the Niners might struggle because of that. So I'm going 34-28.
Or 28.
Yep.
Brian,
Niners.
do you have a score prediction?
27-32.
27-32. So wait. We got the 32, right?
Yep.
It's in 9.
Yep. 32-27. Niners win.
Okay. I like it. Both guys in the 30s range. David, what do you got? You already said it earlier, but what do you think about this game? Break it down for us.
I think without Nick Bosa, we are going to struggle, and we're going to lose this game. I picked us to lose. I actually said if we without Nick Bosa, we lose this game by 7 points. With Nick Bosa, we win it, by 7 points. This is 7 points or less, so they're pretty much one score. And when it comes to scoring predictions, I don't see this being a high scoring game because both teams are very defensive oriented.
Mm-hmm.
And the Steelers, their linebackers are, TJ Watt's probably their best linebacker, but he's also an edge, pass rusher. So I could see this going like 23-20 Steelers, a game like that.
Right.
Hopefully it's 23-20 Niners. Don't get me wrong, folks.
Hopefully.
I do want us to win.
We're going to have all the fans attack Bryant or David McNew's integrity because he might pick the Niners. Because we're all a bunch of haters. Yep. If we don't say everything positive all the time about the Niners, we're haters.
Exactly. That's the way it is. Randy, I got you down, buddy. I wrote that down. 21-19. We're going to check back in with you next week to see if you did.
What's going on, Randy, by the way? How you doing, man?
Yeah, good shout out to you, Randy. And Beto's in the house. If Kittle plays, we were regardless of Bosa. Well, on that note, I say it doesn't matter if Kittle plays or Nick Bosa plays or anyone else because we got Brock Purdy. And no one else does. That's right. He's the real deal. The leader of the clubhouse. Legit. Elite.
The next Joe Montana, according to Twitter or X.
That's right. Joe Montana.
They asked Joe Montana about him, and he's, I see where this is going.
He's the man.
Oh,
so we know
God.
Brock himself is going to score 33 points. That's what he does.
All the points. He's going to score them all.
All the points. Imagine if Kittle or CMC or somebody else contributes a touchdown. Now we're talking 40 points. That's very hard to beat, right? So that alone puts us in another stratosphere. So that's That's going to happen. So we're going to run the ball, like Aaron said. Another way to protect the quarterback is throwing quick, short passes. We know Brock excels at that. We saw it in preseason, right? In that Chargers game, no pass went further than 5 yards. That's what we do, and we do it well. Just throw it short and let the yak bros yak it up. I think that's going to be the formula for this game and a lot of games throughout the season. So, on that note, we're going to move the ball, matriculate the ball down the field, as they used to say in NFL films. Shout out to the great John Facenda. Put up points. I think their offense is not as crisp and clean as ours. So we're going to be able to stop them. I think you and Breezy hit it on the head when you said we're going to just carve them up in the middle of the field. We're going to see everything just happen in the middle of the field all day. And that'll probably set up some type of play action on the side somewhere and do some things. So I see this going 34-13. I think our defense comes out fired up.
Damn.
Having a big day. I think All-Pro Fred makes a difference. He's going to be out there leading the charge. And we come out and have a statement game to begin the season finally.
Man, that would
That's
be
going
awesome.
to get everybody on the hype train. So, and I'll be in Pittsburgh, so they better do it.
Oh, you're going to be there. So you're the 49ers Russia's going to be there too. So you'll probably, I would assume you'll bump into them.
Oh yeah, I'm going to that. I'll be hanging out with everybody.
Man, I wish I could go. Because I'm 4 hours away from Pittsburgh, in New York.
It's a straight drive south.
Yeah,
What's
I
up with
know.
that?
I wanted to go. My nephew's a big 49ers fan. I wanted to go with him, and me and him there's a little bit of a situation going on in my personal life right now with my nephew. Just we're not talking. We had a disagreement about something about politics, and now all of a sudden I can't get a hold of him. So here's a good way to not ruin. Or here's my advice: don't talk politics with family. Don't do it. Or Michael Jordan, LeBron James. Those are the two things, because that will cause people to stop talking. It's ridiculous.
Who's the greatest? Yeah,
that's actually a rule in my mom's house. No talking politics. That's a rule in my mom's house.
It's the worst.
It's the quickest way to start an argument.
It's the quickest way to get people to stop talking to each other, and unfollow each other on social media. Yeah. So that was the plan. It was either that or Cleveland. Who knows? Maybe Cleveland still happens, but I don't know, man. If the Niners play the Buffalo Bills in a couple years, I have to go.
Oh, you have to.
Regardless,
I'll take there.
I'll take a whatever. I'll go by myself.
Yeah, you gotta go. You just gotta be there.
Right.
But if we win 34-17, they're going to have to add cars to that to the hype train, because there ain't going to be enough hype train. That's just how it is.
If we come out and make a statement game, all the talk will be
Brock Purdy's the greatest quarterback of all time.
He's the greatest of all time.
Listen, I'm a Brock Purdy guy, and even I know if they win that game and Brock Purdy plays reasonably well, all the talk, especially Stephen A, because Stephen A hates Jimmy Garoppolo, is going to be, what did I tell you? It's gonna be all about Brock Purdy. Unfortunately, everybody on the
he did his prediction and said he was the second best quarterback in the league. Is that what he said?
Yeah,
he had him number 2 on his list.
He's gonna catch everything. He's gonna kick all the field goals, everything. He's gonna get the sacks on defense. Like, again, I'm a Purdy guy, but it's if they win, it's gonna be absolutely like Purdy this, Purdy that. So we'll see.
And this is the flip side of that coin. If we lose, it'll be the sky's falling. Doesn't matter if we lose by 1 point in the last second.
I love Rob D's freaking nice thumbnail. Beautiful. That's an old school 49er symbol.
That's old school. Yeah, exactly.
Isn't that from like 1946 and 7?
Yeah.
That'd be a sweet ass tattoo. I'm not even going to lie.
Yep.
Did anybody hear the rumors about potentially us wearing a silver or red helmet next year?
No.
No.
Okay.
I didn't see that.
I was
The
over.
and I heard it. Well, so if you go back to our uniforms, we had one point where we had a silver helmet, and we had a point where we had a red helmet, and that's why they were saying it might happen because of a throwback. So I was just like, I wondered if you guys had heard that.
I'll go with the red.
I only heard it in a chat. So
Yeah, I'd be cool with red just because it's
Yeah.
within the color scheme. Silver is not.
did you
Well,
guys?
we mind gold. We don't mind silver. So that just
Yeah,
don't
that's
make
the
any sense.
Raiders. The Raiders are silver and black,
Yeah,
and
exactly. Yeah.
they're doo-doo cheese, so we don't care about them.
Do you know the Raiders' original colors? Can anybody take a wild guess?
Mm-mm.
Original, no.
Purple and blue. Oh.
So black and white for sure, right?
Uh-huh.
They also had gold. The Raiders'
Really?
original colors were gold. Yes. And their original logo is a football. It has gold around it. And then their original jerseys had gold lettering outlining. So, it's always fun. But did you guys get to see this today? I think it dropped. I think it was our hot news. Or maybe it was the other day, but they released the
That's
schedule.
Ryan. Silver's for second place. We don't want anything to do with that. We're gold, baby.
But they
But-
released the
Oh, go
uniform.
ahead, Brian. Sorry.
They released the uniforms that we're going to be playing
Yep.
for
Mhm.
the game. So the home opener against the Giants, we're playing with the red throwbacks, and then we're going to go to Seattle, play with the white throwbacks, and then that's going to be a lot of fun. There's another game, I think Minnesota. It might be Minnesota. We play
Yeah.
throwbacks again.
Steelers. It's not the Steelers. It's the Giants, the Ravens.
Ravens, yeah. No?
Yeah, and then the Seahawks. Yeah, we get the Ravens in our crib, so we'll be wearing the all. I would assume red and white.
Yeah.
They need to do an all gold outfit, or maybe go back to
maybe.
the old. If they ever did the all black, remember the all black? Put that with a black 49ers helmet, please.
I always wanted to see that as well.
That would be
All black with the black helmet.
sleek.
I think that would look way better.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
See, I'm a big Star Wars fan. I love Darth Vader. He's my favorite character in movie history and everything. And like, I'm all about the dark side. So if we could come out in all black, we should
Be right up your
come
alley.
out. Yeah, come out to the Imperial March theme. Like, everybody's. That would be. Of course, that would never happen. But in a fantasy, it exists.
Exactly. Randy, thanks for subbing, man. Appreciate you.
Yes, thank you
Big
very
time.
much.
He says the Darth helmet. That's right.
That'd be sweet. They have all the helmets all look like Darth Vader's. That would be awesome.
Give them visors, those dark visors. Oh man.
If I ever got married, I'm gonna have a Star Wars themed, not a wedding, but reception.
Reception,
Like,
okay.
We're talking people dressed in as stormtroopers, Jedi, everything.
Mm-hmm.
That would be awesome. It'd be like
Set up
60.
your venue like the cantina.
Yeah, have the music just looping constantly. Bum, bum,
Yep.
bum, 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 bum. Yeah. People are like, can we have another song, please? That's all they have.
No.
No.
Yep, it's got the one song. That's it. Oh. All right, fellas. The season is upon us. Does anyone have any season predictions? What's your outlook? What's your record? And how far are we taking this thing?
I originally picked us to go 14-3 and win the Super Bowl. I mean, I also said 12 to 14 wins is what, I just see us doing depending on injuries and how everything goes, And at this point, I'm sticking with it.
All right.
I did see a, not Niners content creator, Ryan G. Hensley. I'm pretty sure we all know who he is. He picked us to go 10-7, and I was like,
yeah, it was a little. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
I was staring at my screen like, did I hear that right?
Mhm.
I had to
But he still had us
rewind
in
the
first place.
screen a little bit
I'm
and
like,
listen to it again.
Yeah, still had us winning the division.
there's no way we win the division at 10-7. I think the Seahawks are going to be a way better team than people give credit for this year.
Mhm.
Minnesota, a couple other teams here and there, like the Eagles, of course, Cowboys. Yeah, 10 and I saw that. I'm like, no. I love that dude. I love Ryan Hensley, but I disagree.
Yeah.
Most games I think the Niners lose this year are 5. I think 5 is the most that we drop. I actually think our record is going to be between 13-4 and 12-5. And I don't think any more or any less. I'm hoping it's better than 13-4, but we play some really good teams. I mean, open the season in Pittsburgh. They could be a good team this year. We don't know. We got the Ravens, we have the Seahawks, we have the Eagles. The Niners play a murderer's row schedule this year, as usual. I mean, what else is new, right?
Yeah.
The Niners don't have a last place schedule, except, listen, if we drop to the Cardinals anything this year, if the Niners lose a game to the Cardinals this year, someone needs to be fired, ASAP. I mean, they are tanking. Those guys are tanking. They're not trying to win.
Straight up.
You got team meetings that they record on video, and you got players just like sitting there listening to that coach. It was so sad.
They're zoning out. They're thinking about
cares.
Pokemon. They're thinking about their taxes, anything else.
He's about to kick it at the crib with some girls later. Like, that's all he cares about.
Yeah.
Call of Duty.
Yep.
You can't drop anything to the Cardinals this year.
Nope.
Or not really the Rams either. I mean, Rams are they're in kind of a rebuild mode, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The Niners should go 5-1 this year in the division. They should go 5-1. They would drop one to Seattle, but they should sweep the other. Beat both other teams. Both 2 games apiece.
I've actually heard that Cooper Kupp had a setback for his ACL. Right now, he's actually going to go see a specialist for a hamstring injury.
Oh wow!
So it makes me wonder if he's ever going to be the same. And I think they extended him, so he is under contract for decent money with them.
Yeah,
it's good for us. If you don't play, I don't care.
Yep.
Aaron, we winning the Super Bowl?
I think we are going to this year. I think we don't get the number 1 seed, though. I think we're going to have to travel again. But I just have the feeling that we just have too many offensive weapons. Like you said, Brock Purdy's Joe Montana. He can't do any wrong. Right. No, I'm just playing. But I think the Niners have a really legitimate shot at winning the Super Bowl. It's all about health. Health is the number 1 factor. And I don't care which way it happens. I don't care if we go to the Super Bowl and win in a blowout or win with 2-0 with a safety, as long as we get that championship, number 6. This is as good as a team we've had in a long time. There's really no excuse. The Niners have run out of excuses. They run the young quarterback out of town, who was the bone of contention with everything, and got fans blaming him for doing bad and not being good, and they had to jettison him out of here and all that happy horse crap. So there's no more excuses. You got all the guys you want. You got rid of all the guys you didn't want. Time to go win. Shut up. So I think they can. It's just, like I said, it's a matter of health. I think we can beat the Eagles with a healthy team. I really do.
Bryant, I saw you put 15-2 in the chat. Is that your record prediction?
Oh yeah, it's my before the season started. That's what I did. That's what I'm thinking. Again, there's maybe 1 or 2 games that we're going to lose that we probably shouldn't lose, and I think that's what's going to happen. We might have 1 or 2 games we should lose that we win. So, I mean, I'm not going to say we're going to wipe the floor with everybody, but I really think we have a good enough team. If we do have Bosa out there with the upgrade of Hargrave, if Kinlaw punches it in and comes in every once in a while and does anything decent, if Drake Jackson can play, if Armstead, again, the plantar fasciitis, if that thing doesn't reoccur or, flare up on him, I think Warner's going to be really good out there. It's really, really like exciting if you think about it. The Niners do have a really good team, and we have jettisoned away some players that maybe we shouldn't have, but sometimes you gotta let players go. You can't pay everybody, and sometimes other players can step up and they can play when you weren't going to let them play. Now they're getting an opportunity to show what they can do. So it's funny, like Aaron, like not arguing with you, but like we jettisoned a lot of players before like this regime really came together in 2017. They could have kept Kaepernick. They said, nope, we're not going to keep Kaepernick. We're going to go in a different direction. And from there, we really haven't had a quarterback. For a couple of times we had Jimmy. We had the idea about Jimmy. If he can stay healthy, he can take us to the Super Bowl. It worked. And then, from there it was like, can he stay healthy? Well, he had these nagging injuries or whatever, something, leg injury, same kind of injury that Patrick Mahomes plays in the Super Bowl, but it keeps him out almost all season. Then he tears his fingers up. He tears his shoulder up. It's just, we've had some bad luck keeping some players healthy. And I think whether you agree with it or not just at you, Aaron, but if anybody, the quarterback's the most valuable player on the team. And from there, it's, if you got a good quarterback, you really can build around him. So this concept of we can have anybody come in and play quarterback, I think Kyle sees it. He can't. You have to have a certain player come in and play quarterback. And if this is what exactly you want, is like complete control, or you want to have a guy that you completely believe in, then I guess this is it, right? Brock Purdy comes in, he plays the way Kyle wants him to play. He makes the team, move, and that's what we want. We want scores. Since he's come in, we haven't scored 30-something points a game since Kaepernick. Prior to that, we hadn't scored 30-something points since Jeff Garcia. And Kaepernick was just a really short glimpse of something. And not every game did we score 30 points. We got shut out with Kaepernick too. So I'm not saying that you having a fantastic, flashy quarterback's going to get you to the Super Bowl, but it definitely helps. So for me, 15-2. I'm going to be nervous watching this game because it's the Steelers at home. They're like 9-1 since 2014.
Mm-hmm.
So that's scary, and then, the other game I'd be a little bit nervous about is going to be the Baltimore game. I think that's Christmas game. I think it's just Christmas. We don't play against the Baltimore Ravens. I think they beat us 10 years in a row now or something like that. It's not nice. I'm really, really optimistic about the season. I think there's a couple of games that we're going to be biting our nails. If you chew your nails, I don't, but you're going to be.
I do.
Eat, and it's going to be an exciting game. And that's why, again, I think it's really neat that they went and got somebody like Moody, because if it is the end of the game, instead of having to have somebody like Brock Purdy throw it all the way down the field, or, try to have some yak bro go down the field, we can potentially win it positively,
Mm-hmm.
potentially with, the leg of a kicker who can kick it almost 70 yards. So he just has to have confidence.
Well, I have some big news.
So
apparently,
breaking news, folks.
So Jake Moody is retaining number 4. Congratulations, Bryant.
Yay.
That's right. Congrats to Bryant. His jersey is still worthy.
Yeah.
Brandon Allen is taking number 17.
Yep.
And Robert Beal Jr. shared a number with Joe Feliciano. He's taking 51 instead of 55. So Numbers are all set, people. If you feel like buying a jersey, go ahead.
That's right. Go get them.
The
No
sweat
one's changing.
I can't fit in any of my jerseys right now. I gained too much weight. I have to wear shirts now.
We'll get you a number 90 jersey fitting. Your
give me a Kinlaw. Give me a Ted Washington jersey from back in the day or something. Big fat ass, Michael Carter, somebody like that.
Exactly.
That's what I'm looking like right now. You can't put no quarterback out on me. I look like a swollen Stay Puft Marshmallow Man right now with the quarterback number on. Oh my God.
Does anyone have any bold predictions for the season? Anybody going to win Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year again, possibly? MVPs?
I have a joke, and I know this is just a joke, but I like to put in the chat, Jake Moody, Rookie of the Year, MVP, Super Bowl winner. I like to say, if I could speak it into fruition, imagine if we do win a Super Bowl with his foot. We really needed to, a kicker to win a Super Bowl, so that would be kind of neat.
Bold prediction: Christian McCaffrey wins Offensive Player of the Year. He's going to get 1,000 yards rushing and receiving.
Oh, wow.
1,000. Okay.
And he's going to score about 15 to 18 touchdowns.
Woo.
That's all I got. I'm pretty lame. Yeah, that's it.
I have one more.
What?
at the end of the year, after we host the Lombardi, we'll find out that Roger Craig's going to go into the Hall of Fame finally this year. This is going to be it.
Hell yeah. That's
I
what
think
I'm talking
Brandon
about.
Ayuk will make his first Pro Bowl.
Oh, wow. That'd be good, too.
I love, I'm such a Brandon Ayuk fan. I'm such a fan, and I'll say this about the quarterback position. I love Brock Purdy to death, but I would love to see a guy like Ayuk on a team with a quarterback who can challenge the ball downfield, because I think there's a whole other level of play that this kid or this young man can unlock if he was with a quarterback, say like, I don't know, Josh Allen or something, say like they can't keep Diggs and he goes to Buffalo. He's that good of a player. And listen, I am 100% behind Brock, but I know his limitations. He's a mental giant, and he's calm, and he's all the mental attributes that make a great player he has. But you can't sit there and say you don't see the physical limitations. Everybody sees them. I see them. If Brandon Ayuk was with a quarterback that could challenge the ball downfield, he would be Justin Jefferson. And it sucks that he essentially has to run, crossers and slants all the time in order to make that happen. That's hard work, man. It's hard work. If you can get a ball 45 yards downfield, it's a lot easier than having to catch a 5-yard slant and turn it into a 45-yard gain. You have to break a lot of tackles. So, yeah.
Oh, like he did versus the Chargers. That was a 5-yard curl, turn and run. It works. It works for us, but
it's just the level of difficulty is a lot more than if you have a guy that can throw the ball over the top.
Yeah. Chunk plays through the air is something that this offense has missed greatly over the past 7 seasons.
Kaepernick could challenge the ball downfield. The problem with Kaepernick is when he needed to grow, the team started to fall fall apart around him, and also he never took his game to that next level of learning his craft, all that. It was bad all around. He needed to have someone like Harbaugh to insulate him and help him to grow. And if he did, I think he would have been a great quarterback. I don't know if he would have been like the type of quarterback that we talk about as far as Brady or, Mahomes or anything, but he would have been pretty damn good. I think you could win a Super Bowl with a guy like that. It's unfortunate.
It's coaching, right? You got to coach these players up.
Yeah.
You got Harbaugh there.
You have to have talent around them too.
Yeah. And talent, but then you go from there to Chip Kelly. With we all know that him and his offense
were some bad years.
Was garbage.
Him and his teenage nickname, Chip.
Yeah, exactly.
We had was it Curley, the wide receiver? Jeremy Curley was one of ours.
Who's a number 4.
And we had him as a number 1.
He was never more than a number 3.
Yeah.
Right. And he was our number 1 receiver.
Oh man, those are some hard times.
You're not doing much with that, right?
Nah.
And then you had Tom Sula and his crew come in. He's like
coming farting in press conferences. Yeah, it's sucking. Just being bad.
How much coaching up are you going to get as a quarterback from those regimes?
Nothing.
Yeah.
They had some of the worst coaching staff. That was bad.
Yeah.
But we're not that team anymore, people.
Exactly. We're not. Super Bowl contenders. I've been saying all along, our record's going to be 20-0.
Yep.
We're going
to the Joe
bowl.
Montana quarterback, man. We're good.
Our bold prediction is that Brock breaks the single season scoring record. He's going to shatter it. LaDainian Tomlinson. Sorry, buddy. Your scoring title is going down. So, he'll win MVP and everything else too. But
NFL MVP, Super Bowl MVP,
all that.
Defensive Player of the Year.
That's right. Can't stop the Brock. You can only hope to contain him.
Can't stop, won't stop. Yeah.
Exactly. All right, fellas. Anything else? Anyone have anything else?
I'm good.
Good. All right. We're on to Pittsburgh. It's time to just root for the team, root for that SF. Those guys. Oh, wait, wrong finger. Those guys. It's over there. And David, take us out.
Go 49ers and F the Lambs.
That's right. Go Niners. See everybody next week. We'll be on Aaron's channel.
Bye, everybody.
49ers First Takes. Have a good one.
See ya.